So that's Dusty, and we're going to move on to Tonka. Now, Tonka has been making a lot of in real life claims, and he's been really embellishing his hobby career as a wrestler. He tried to say that he was a paid wrestler on a circuit, that it was his job, that he got paid, and he's making money, maybe just enough to keep the lights on, who knows. But here he is talking about it, and we're going to get into that and see if he's telling the truth on his wrestling career.
For like 6 shows, but I would wrestle like 4 days a week. And whenever I would get back in,
let me get a little earlier.
And I would record it on a freaking VHS still, because I was still doing that. And I would watch it when I got back every week, because I would wrestle 4 days a week for like 6 shows, but I would wrestle like 4 days a week.
He would wrestle 4 days a week, is what he said.
I would just go over wrestling while I was there, because I enjoyed, but it got to where there had to be a cutoff. And since I was wrestling,
I didn't show the beginning.
And then you see these other guys who, you know, they're big stars from huge companies. They'll come in and they'll demand to beat some guy in front of like maybe 100 people.
Okay, there he said in front of 100 people. And that's the crowds that these small indie promoters, these very small promoters, they usually get a crowd of about 100 people that pay $5 a piece, $500 total purse for the building owner, for the promoter, and then a tiny amount of money for the wrestlers.
Like, you just won't do what you paid them to do just because, and it's so cringy, because these guys above all should know this isn't real. Mm-hmm. And no one's going to see this. Just do what they paid you to do before you got here. And you weren't complaining when you got paid, and now you've got the money, and now you're going to say, oh, well, I don't want to do it. I won't name names, but this is something that happens with big names pretty frequently.
With big names he's talking about.
In like 4 or 5 examples. It's just crazy stuff that you get from wrestlers that will make you dislike wrestling. Wrestling fans can do some things that will make you dislike wrestling. And for me, at around 2006, it became a job. And that was why I couldn't watch it all the
time. He said in 2006, wrestling became his job. Okay.
Time every week anymore. And I would record it on a freaking VHS still, because I was still doing that. And I would watch it when I got back every week, because I would wrestle 4 days a week for like 6 shows. But I would wrestle like 4 days a week. And whenever I would get back in.
So he was saying in 2006, wrestling was his job, his career. He wrestled 4 days a week. He traveled and toured. And he said when he could get back in, which means he would travel for wrestling, and we would get into that, is where the state he lived in, Alabama, had absolutely no wrestling. We can kind of take a look at that first. Okay, he's in Alabama. Here's an interview with him talking about the Alabama wrestling scene. For those unfamiliar with the independent wrestling scene in Alabama, how would you describe as it stands today? This is 2013. Tonka, it's almost a wasteland. There's just not enough promotions, and with the exception of a few shows, there really isn't any wrestling scene anymore. And blah, 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 blah. There are a few shows left. Birmingham Hardcore Wrestling comes to mind. Global Wrestling in Pell City, Alabama is another fine show. But with his exceptions, there really isn't much left in the Alabama scene. Kind of sad lately. And down there he says, there are promotions outside the ones you named still kicking. Also, what promotions have you worked in Alabama that have since folded? I know the League of Extraordinary Wrestlers is still a thing. They're a show that runs every few months. And that's the thing. These wrestling promotions run a show only once every 2 weeks to every few months. Maybe a Friday or Saturday night. So 4 nights a week out wrestling, it doesn't make any sense. There are a few shows that run every few months, and they've had the same success that's probably the only one going in northern Alabama anyway. So He's wrestling 4 nights a week. He's traveling and coming back in. There is Alabama's a wasteland, so he's going to have to travel to other states. So first of all, we have a lot of expenses, gas money, and even if you crash at like another wrestler's place to save the hotel money, you're going to have a lot of gas money traveling hundreds of miles to those wrestling events. Now, how much do these wrestling events pay the wrestlers? And that's going to show here in this site here, Fandom. It's like a Wikipedia for wrestling, telling about the independent circuit. And here's a little bit on the pay for the independent circuits. Independent promotions are usually regional and in focus, lacking TV contracts, are dependent on revenue from house show attendance. Due to their lower budgets, most independent promotions offer low salaries. It is not unusual for a wrestler to be paid $5 to $20 per match. Now, if you're a more known wrestler, you can demand $100 or $200. But Tonka Saw, he was only in the very, very lowest of promotions. What was I going to say? Yeah, all the YouTube videos of him wrestling, and there are, about a dozen I've seen. There are 0 comments on him, so that shows 0 fan base. The only comments were in the last couple months when they knew it was Tonka Saw and they mentioned something. So he's got no notoriety. And here is the database that shows his. Now, he said he started in 2006 wrestling as a career. Now, this is his career database. And before 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, all the way up to October, shows absolutely no matches. And this is a very thorough database. But they do wrestle. There are matches that they have outside of this database. This is a thorough database. They have 2,000 promoters who report their matches to this database. But there's the really, really low end ones. They're not in here. Okay. So if he wrestled, he could have wrestled in 2006, 2007, 2008 at those very, very low end places that give you $5 to $10 per match. Now, we just showed that he's going to have, he did and said he traveled outside the state. The gas money then, that's losing money. But that's okay. That's okay. These guys do this hoping to make it big. Anything you do, you're going to lose money at first, and you hope that all of us have grabbed guitars and joined a band. We've done sports. I could name things. I've been in stand-up comedy. I had lost money there because I never got paid, and I had gas money to get there. I'll admit it. It was just I was on the low end deal, open mic night and shit like that, and shitty little bars. I used to play bass guitar. I never made any money at that because I could have been a millionaire if I would have been successful. I could have played bass guitar for the Who. That's what we all hope for. We all lose money at our hobbies. We have fun. We're glad we did it. We didn't make it to a millionaire. So what, and that's fine. But he's telling everybody, and we've got all these people believing that he was a paid professional wrestler on a circuit. And there's no evidence of it. Now, here's what his career looks like. And most of these matches are with the same promoter. All these matches that show up are in the same Pro South arena. So he's going to the same old neighborhood place, wrestling. And this is a real low end guy too here, but he's just reporting it. Now, he said he got in an interview, he got inspired by Sanjay Dutt. Now let's look at his career a little bit. Not a world-class wrestler, but a real popular indie guy. Let's see what a real wrestler that's like he described looks like. We're going to go Sanjay Dutt. Oh, I misspelled his name. Oh, there. Okay, it was down here. You saw how his dozens and dozens and dozens of promoters. Look, here's his matches because he's a little bit up on the scale. All of his matches. See, he has 2002, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009 matches all show up. Like I say, he could have wrestled, but he wrestled for $5. And so we've shown that he made very little money, not even enough to cover gas. That's okay. He was trying to make it in wrestling. So made very, very little money, not even enough to cover gas. But like most sports, when you get started up, you've got great expenses, training expenses. And here we talk about his training.
Yeah. So, who were you trained by?
I was kind of trained by a couple of people, actually. It started off, I got trained by David Michaels and his son, Eric Michaels. And they're in.
So I don't know if you can hear that, but they asked who trained him, and he was trained by Eric Michaels and father and son Michaels. I'm going to show you that they charge thousands to train wrestlers, but you got to get the training. You got to pay for, just like if you're in martial arts, you're gonna go to a martial arts studio and train. It's going to cost money. It's always going to cost money.
In a show in like the Oxford, Anniston area of Alabama, but about 6-7-ish months into that, I kind of started going to a lot of the seminars. You'll see posters for, like on Facebook, you'll see posters for them, of the shows and stuff.
So he said he started going to a lot of the seminars that you see posters of, and he go to these seminars. Okay, those seminars are like right here. The wrestling, these guys who are kind of got their name made, they try everything to make money. They sell T-shirts. If they're recognized guys, they open their own schools and training. Here we have one right here, the Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy Pro Training Seminar, just like he talked about. $30, sign up now. Well, that's just a seminar. Then you got the regular school, and he talked about that with the Michaels brothers, trained him. They asked him, who trained you? And it's Michaels brothers. So here he talks about, we're going to show some of the courses here. The wrestling training courses right here, $300 down, $300 a month. Some of them are charged like $2,000-$3,000. 2-hour classes over 9 months. It's like 3 days a week. Maybe this is what he was doing, because remember I said these lies are based on reality. So he's probably doing a 4-day a week. He's probably going out and paying to get trained 3 days a week. Which is, I mean, if he was just to own it. Okay, guys, I was a wrestler. I tried, and I never got anywhere. I ended up losing money. I got $10, $15 here, but between the training and gas, I was never professional. Had fun doing it. I'll have great stories for the kids. But no, so in conclusion, he was not, as he said, in 2006, he did wrestling as a job and did it 4 nights a week. There's nowhere to wrestle 4 nights a week. I mean, most of those places, they just have a wrestling thing on Friday night. So he's probably spending money training. And see, because the database that we talked about here, this is an extensive database. Let me show you. There, it has 2,000. What was it? 2,000, over 2,000 promotions report to this database. Like I say, but you can have a lot of matches outside this database. It's going to be the very, very low end. So in conclusion, even if he was wrestling 4 nights a week, getting paid, $5 to $20 and traveling out of state, he's got to be losing money. But he's telling everybody that he was a professional that made money and he did it for a living. But he was doing it for fun. He was doing it. Hopefully he could get to the top where he could be the one making the money. He could be the one selling seminars and demanding $300-400 per match instead of begging places. And then you have to take the standard rate, which is $5 to $20. Yeah, and here it is. This is where they wrestle. The Pro South, where most of his wrestling matches on the database took place. This dingy old building. And because we were talking to Tom Possess. So Tonka blocked you. Yeah, it's just Snowflake. What did you do to him? I pointed out he was a beginner level wrestler at the biggest dive joints imaginable, never made a dime in wrestling, and he grossly exaggerated his puny lowest level wrestling career. And here's where we get into this. Oh, it's just infuriating. Is that someone who can spend hours and hours railing on somebody else, like say Mundane Mad or Destiny or someone like that. But if you dare spend 30 minutes on him, here's what people say. You seem very invested in someone you've never met. Did he hurt your feelings? That is so fucking retarded. This whole community is about people spending time making reaction videos and drama with and arguing with other people that they've never met. It's so stupid. And so I tweeted that out to Vamp Candy. And I'm arguing back and forth because he's got all these people believing that he was actually a paid wrestler, and cognitive thought is one of them. I argued with him on the messages. I said, no. I said, he was in those low-end places. I know about him. They don't pay anything. So here's this Jessica girl, but he's never exaggerated his wrestling career. He has never claimed to be part of anything like, WCW. He was a working professional paid wrestler on a circuit. Where's show us that, which you helped prove by showing that dingy building. See, they're not even, it's just cognitive dissonance is so set in for their little tribal argument. I can show you a wrestling database that shows otherwise. So, like I say, it's fine. You tried to be a wrestler. You gave it the old college try. You were highly unsuccessful. Okay. So Tonka, why did you pout about it and blame everyone else for your wrestling lack of success? Okay, let's get back into that point. And we're going to call this the pouting of a loser. This is the interview with him. And throughout the interview, let me get this notes here. Talks about how much wrestling sucks and let's go down here to where he talks about. Now, he tried to start his own promotion company because he learned that you can't make money unless you're a promoter. Okay, here's the question. What was the experience like running your own show? Did you run the same promotion a few times, or did you run shows under different names? Well, running my own show was quite the learning experience. Honestly showed me that as much as I loved wrestling, I didn't love it that much. Whining starts, and it's not going to let up, guys. I'm just not the diplomat that it would take to be a successful promoter. I wouldn't use anyone I wouldn't trust as a person, and in the pro wrestling business, that was a very small list. So everyone in pro wrestling is bad, I guess. As months went by, some guys fell off that list, and it became truly a low point in my wrestling tenure. I trusted some people whom I shouldn't have, and they used that trust to try to have my show shut down. So he's blaming everyone but himself. It's people got his show shut down. Man. By the time this happened, I was so discouraged with wrestling as a whole that I couldn't really fight them to get the building back. So that's his promotion completely failing. I was just too drained of any interest at that point. I wanted to quit. I'm one of the few guys who ever booked myself into a match. But the hell with it, you can't please them all. And here's a little bit on his training. Getting back earlier to your career, you mentioned you trained for about 4 to 5 months before wrestling. What was a typical day of training for you? Bumps and bumps. I showed up and they kicked my ass for a few hours. Not for free. You just showed that wrestling is a greedy business. You paid money for that training. I remember one day being just tested and running the ropes until I couldn't stop, blah, 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 blah. And he's talking about his wrestling training for hours, where they would train him for hours. And that's going to cost him thousands. And he talks about the Alabama scene being a wasteland. Kind of sad, actually. This is Mr. Success here, guys. Down here. Now, if you remember, this is good. For his most all his matches that showed up on the database were through Pro South Wrestling. We showed that. Pro South Wrestling, all these in black and blue are Pro South Wrestling. Hey, let's listen to what he says about Pro South Wrestling. Well, he was in with them for a few years and did a lot of matches with them. Let's see what he says about Pro South Wrestling. Let's see where the Pro South Wrestling thing is. One Alabama promotion you have worked for is Pro South Wrestling. How did you first get involved with this promotion? Was that with Dave Torres, or was Torres with another promotion? His response: Torres is another promotion. He ran Extreme Outlaw Wrestling in the Oxford and Addison area. Pro South, on their hand, then was one of these things that let me get to my pouty voice. Pro Southling, on the other hand, was one of these things that if I look back on now, I would have never went. I don't think anyone killed off my liking for the business any more than that place. This is where he got the vast majority of his database wrestling matches, the one that's close to his house, and he's bitching about how he's quit and he hates them and bleh. I went in about 4 or 5 other guys. They're looking for people to use in the upcoming shows. And they only kept 2. I can't tell you how or why I ended up in Pro South Wrestling, either other than just trying to work another show. But once I got there, I just wanted out. That's your successful wrestler, guys. You're a pro. I believe there was some more pouting down here. Talking about some. This is probably the least amount. This was probably the least amount of fun that I ever had wearing a championship. By the time me and Ace won the tag team titles, I couldn't stand the guy. He was the booker of the promotion, and once he saw me getting over, he instantly stuck himself to my side with us winning the tag titles, blah, blah, blah. He was one of those guys that just wasn't a good person. So you can see he's got an attitude where he's not getting along with these promoters, and that is key to making success. But you can kind of see how why he is very, very unsuccessful. Yeah. Anyway, and there's going to be, just like I showed, there's going to be people who are going to come here and say, I'm salty. Look at me spending all this time banging furiously on my keyboard, which is the stupidest argument in the world, is saying that the other side is crying and you're laughing hysterically. It's so retarded. You know, it's I can't even. It's such a tired argument, you know. Oh, you're butthurt, you're salty. So let's think a minute of what Tonka Saw's been doing on his blood spurts or wherever. He takes people that arguably, and they could say that they fucked up, they did something stupid, they were being an asshole, they're being whatever, and he invites him on to Kumite, and he fucking rakes them over the coals, right? He finds out who's fucking up, and that's his MO, that's his routine. Now drink that in. Just drink that thought in. Drink the thought of him, taking Baked Alaska and Destiny and Mundane Mad and whoever's fucked up or done something dumb. And just kind of clear your mind and let it rush in. Okay. Now, I've shown that Tonka Saw has lied to his fans, embellished his wrestling career, and told them he was this big paid touring wrestler and this was his career. So what do you think would be just dessert for that, guys? Now, people that know me in my channel, right? They know me. A lot of people say, "Oh, he goes after Christy Winters. He goes after Christy Winters." Or maybe they would say, "I like the drama." Yeah, Mike goes after Christy Winters all the time. And I do a lot of videos criticizing and attacking Christy Winters. I want to explain that to you, everybody. It's important. I got dry mouth a little bit. Christy Winters was attacking Sargon, and then eventually Bearing 2, just attacking and making video and attacking. So she's like a smaller channel, and she's attacking these big channels in the skeptic community who she deemed as anti-feminist. So what did I do? I went in and did to Christy Winters exactly what she was doing to Sargon and Bearing. That's it. That's it. That's all I was doing. That's what I like to do. I like to give people a taste of their own medicine. So Tonka Saw, if you're jumping on everyone on the community and dogpiling on them when everyone else is dogpiling, when they fucked up or they arguably fucked up or something, and you jump on them, well, here I am calling you out for being a big liar about your real life. And what was I was going to say? Oh, there's something I didn't have the receipts on, but the other thing about Tonka Saw and his fluffing of his real life that was happening, that he said somewhere, he keeps claiming he's an owner of these businesses. He says, "Oh, I don't care what this online stuff. I got it made so well in the real world. I got these businesses." He said that. I tried to dig up the quote a little bit. I didn't want to spend a lot of time digging up that quote, but he has claimed on more than one occasion that he is the owner of businesses. Okay, keep that in mind. Owner of businesses. And when he was spurging out on Twitter back during the Destiny thing, when the Destiny doxing, he was saying, when you find my name, you're going to find a lot of properties in my name. It's like, I thought, how is that relevant? Other than it just seems like it was more bragging. Okay. That's his claims. Tonka claims he is the owner of businesses, right? That he has properties in his name. Okay, now I want you to think a second about all the YouTubers, creators that you like, and a lot of them will come to you and they'll say things like, well, I'm sorry I haven't made a video in 2 or 3 weeks. I've been real busy with this and that. I've been so busy with life, and a lot of them are going to school, taking final exams. A lot of them have kids, family emergencies, jobs, things like that, right? So see a lot of creators who've got 2-3 weeks periods where they cannot put out anything because they're so busy. Yet, guys, this guy, this guy who claims to have all these businesses and properties, which should keep your ass running, has 5 hours every single weekday to get on his live stream. And then he follows this drama, which takes even more time. You have to live on. So he has no. How does someone? And here's the thing about what I was telling you earlier. I said that these guys are bullshitting, and what they're bullshitting about, I really got. So I'm going to tell you about that. Back to Dusty. He said he made $1.5 million online. Uncannily, that's about the same amount of money I've made online. I've made more money online than any creator has made on YouTube. Well, not any in the skep community. PewDiePie, guys like that, they've made more money than I've made on the internet. But yeah, I'm in e-commerce. I have several websites. And I have businesses, guys. I have internet business, and I have a kind of a. I don't want to dox my business at all, but it's like, let's say, a service type rather than goods. It's services type business. Plus the fortune I've made online, and that's a bold claim, guys. So I want to give you a little bit of a receipt because I've proven these guys wrong. And I hesitate to do this, but I want to go back. Okay, my websites. I take PayPal on my websites. And so here's my PayPal. And this is 2015. This is the money I've made. This is the money I got paid through PayPal in 2015. $206,000. And that confirms here. Now this is less, 199,000, but that's because some people do PayPal by check. This is credit card only. This is all the credit card only PayPal payments. But you can see it's 2015, and we got a match here. Look at July, $40,115. July, $40,115. I just wanted to give you a little bit of something to show you that I do indeed kill it on the internet. And I've made about $1.5 million, but I've never been a millionaire. I've made that 1.5 million over, or I've done 1.5 million in sales. No, I didn't. No, I'm sorry. I've made 1.5 million. Yeah, about 2.5 million in sales over about a 12-year period. That thing in 2003 I talked about, I lost money. I lost money, guys, on my 2003 website. I'm not afraid to admit it. So the thing that they're claiming, the businesses, I've got business. That's why I say there's no way. There's no way. And I've had properties. I've had properties in my name, but I sold them. I kept moving and buying houses, and I kept the old house, and I would rent them, and that would be like a disaster. So I've had properties in my name. So all this stuff, I either am what their bullshit it is, or I'm like they are. Like I say, he was unsuccessful at wrestling. Oh, I was unsuccessful at every little thing that I tried, playing guitar, or I was in bike racing, very successful, but only the top 100 people in the world can do it, can actually make money and do it, eke out a living at it. The money's very, I lost money at all of that stuff. That's fine. I own it. Everyone does it. 99.9% of people just do these things. It's nice if you can make it real big and be rich, or make it real big and be able to do it on a professional level, whether it be guitar playing, sports, wrestling, acting, music, you know. Anyway.
Why you always lying?
Why you niggas lying? Me. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Every time you tell me something, I figure that you're lying. You always almost lie, faking. Oh yeah, yeah, I know you're lying, but you sound excited, and you know that
Oh, I forgot one thing, guys. Anybody here? Oh, we got the Tonka cock gobblers have made it into there. How you doing, Tonka? Hey, Tonka, is that the real Tonka Shaw there? Are you a chicken shit? That real Tonka Shaw. Yeah, he's a chicken shit. So, fat guy, I tell you what, Tonka, that's you. Tell you what, Bake Alaska kind of backed out of that MMA fight. How about you and me? And we'll do this, and each of us will bring $1,000 to the match. We'll give that $2,000 to a neutral party who's going to judge the outcome of the match and is going to hand that $2,000 to. They're going to hand that $2,000 to the winner. So, are you chicken shit, or do you want to do that? Oh, come on. Is that a yes? Is that a yes? Tonka Saw. Are we going to do an MMA match? Because you're really showing you're real tough, you know. And see, what I love to do is when people make real life claims, I like to call them out on the bullshit. So your real life claim that you're extra tough, I would love to check that. I would love to check that and show that it's bullshit. No? Well, he doesn't want an MMA fight. This just kind of shows that no, we lying. Where was that other clip I was going to show? What happened to it? Got one more to show you guys. You'll like this one. Where was the... I got all these saved for you. Where was that one? I didn't pull that one. Have to go to failures and pull that up because I want everyone to see that, because it kind of... Let's go back to that. Bum. Where's that one with Baked Alaska? That was 11 hours. Here it is.
No, we have not.
Press 1 in the chat if you know for a fact I've never played a fucking thing that Baked Alaska's ever done.
On your
Press 1
channel.
in the chat real quick.
No, I'm on your channel.
I don't care. Go ask.
Stop watching.
This is good, guys. You got to hear this after all I've told you.
I've done things. What have you done? You challenge people to fight, you'll never get it because you're a pussy.
What have you done?
What have I done? Everything I've ever
Failed
said
at
for
promotion.
3 years old. I wanted to be a wrestler. Became a wrestler. Wanted
Failed
to be a
at
fighter,
it.
Became a fighter.
Failed at
I was
it.
on radio. I was on radio.
I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh, what was that?
Okay, well, I wanted
to be in a movie. I was in a movie.
Okay,
I wanted to do things.
I
I
wanted
did
to
things.
be on TV, and I've been on TV. I wanted to write a book, and I wrote a book.
This
I
is
wanted
good
to,
coming up, guys.
Be in the news, and I've been in the news.
Okay, how many did they sell? How much money did you make in them, or did you go in the hole doing it?
Someone's woke. Someone's woke about going in the hole. Someone's keen on the fact that you can do certain endeavors and go into the hole. Or did you lose money?
Because if you lose money doing it,
No, I've been.
Wow.
Frequently.
Man.
free, son. I've been on TV plenty of times. Anybody can do that.
Yeah. So what's
So that's all you wanted.
Tonka.
That's the low bar you set for yourself, getting on TV for whatever reason.
Tonka, what about our
I'm
MMA?
on TV because of myself. Because you're on.
You would wreck me. Well,
You're
no,
on
wait a
TV
minute.
because you
Geez.
got Bears.
Tonka, this is gonna be so good for you. You're gonna walk away with $1,000. You're gonna show everyone you're as tough as you are, and it's gonna help. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's just gonna be a good old sporting match. Full MMA is fine. Oh, you got shit to do now. That's what he said. He's got shit to do now. All of a sudden, he doesn't have 5 hours to live stream every weekday. He's got his businesses. What a joke, man. What a joke. Show my proof of what? I just showed loads of proof that you did not become a wrestler as a job in 2006 and go out and do 4 nights a week paid. Go ahead and own it, Tonka. You lost money. You fibbed a little bit. You caught a 5-pound fish and you told everybody it was a 10-pound fish. Proof? He wants me to show proof of what? I showed tons of proof. I think I got. I mean, that's good that you got into wrestling, and like I say, that's great. You know, I mean, you got to, but you just failed. You know, and you came out with a sourpuss. It just showed it in that interview. You came out with a sourpuss attitude and quit and pouted. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. Yeah, I'd love to, I mean, I thought, wasn't failure going to had some way you could set up a match or something, an MMA match? I mean, you've been blowing off and now you've got a taker. It's kind of different when you're on the defense and not on the attack, isn't it, Tonka, huh? A little bit different. You used to piling on people like Baked Alaska, which I don't care about. I'm not defending him. He's a retard, whatever. But you pile on him when everyone else is piling on him. And that's your thing. I mean, that's kind of borderline bullying. I mean, I'm a bullier of bullies. And that's kind of borderline bullying, but I just want to check your badass. You know, that's all I really want to do. So, I mean, you've got a taker. So, I mean, let me know. We can set it up. If you're still in Alabama, we're about a day's drive away. We can meet on Street Beefs, which is a little far for me. And then it would be recorded and everything. And then we could hand $1,000 to the referees there. And we'll do that. Now, that's all you've got is the fat layer, huh? Wow. I could show my full picture that shows I've got just like a fat face. I'm not really that fat, more muscular, but all righty, guys. A short, fat guy? Well, what are you, Tonka? Are you 6'1" like you said online, or are you 6'3" like you said online? Pretty much pathological liar, you know. What evidence? What are we talking? I just reeled over databases and databases. You know. Prove what? Tell me exactly what I need to prove. Because I'd really like to get this match in. We'd like to shut some badassery down. Yeah, go over the whole thing. I don't know what you're talking about when you say prove. I laid out the evidence. And guess what?
Yeah, I'm saying it shows your character. My character is that I am disgusted with Connor. You're a disingenuous piece of shit if you would yourself right now. You want to say you called me in? What? No, you're. I didn't call you in. You know that you did. Okay, your show. Is it yours? Show me the DM, Bake. Show me why I called you in. Your show? No, I was ready to end the show, you dumb fuck, and this is on Failure's channel. So again, you're wrong. You're wrong about everything, like you always are, you dumb con artist. You ridiculous piece of shit. I'm not a con artist.
I saw that you were online. We were ready to end the show, and I dragged you in.
And I told Andy,
This is Failure's channel, and this is Failure's show. Right?
Con artist. Yeah, I explained in great detail how low-end indie wrestlers make $5 to $10 per show. I show that they're not even playing, and so you're gonna have to drive forever to make $20. I showed how you attended Michael's training and paid for that. You paid for seminars, you paid for gas, and got paid very little. You just do the math. Just do the math. I'm sure you're going to want like a Kennedy assassination type of evidence, but we've got some great preponderance here, little man. So anyway, you need to shut the fuck up and get off my chat if you're not going to accept the MMA fight. Isn't that kind of a taste of your own medicine that you gave to Baked Alaska? No? Are you chicken shit or not? Yeah, we're chicken shit. Okay, we're in the stream. We've got one badass who's backing down. When a guy is being attacked from all sides, he wants to challenge him to an MMA fight. But when someone comes in, all right. That was good.